Because speaking of the people who debuted at same anniversary, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers, came in.
Which that should be their name, not GNA, like I said earlier.
Yeah, GNA does suck. I ain't gonna lie to you. GNA does suck. The Good Brothers.
The name FTR.
Yeah, look, let that go, okay? Let it go. It happened. It's done. AEW can't be perfect about everything.
Japan, they're gonna be the top guys.
Yeah. So, with that all being said, July 18th was a day where everybody was just like, bam, we all contracts, so we gonna go out and we just gonna rant on everything. So, what happened is, on Good Brothers podcast, the Countdown to Fucktown on Talking Shop. That's what they called. The episode was called Countdown to Fucktown.
That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah, so that's on the Talk Shop podcast. So they talked about some of the things that AJ alluded to, because AJ told everybody just wait until July 18th and they'll be able to say whatever they want to say.
Uh-huh.
And one of the recent things they was talking about on there was they talked about not going to AEW and how they regret that, and how Triple H was saying he told them basically, like, he offered them major deals and be saying, he's like, look, because AEW's there, you don't know if AEW's gonna last. WWE's always gonna be here, and whether I hate that statement or not, he ain't lying, because WWE finds a way to get through all this shit because they in bed with a lot of people. I mean,
yeah, but I'm talking about, like, but the way that he said it though, he was like, think of your family and all that. So sign this long-term deal, just so they won't go with them, just so they can release them. Though I'm like,
yes, that is some shady shit. I'm not even gonna take that away from you. Now hold on, because here's the thing. When they talked about that, if you the parts podcast you listened to, they made it seem like Paul Heyman is the biggest bad guy, opposed to Vince and Triple H.
Yeah, because I heard them when they said like, they went to Vince. They was like, well, who kind of signed off on this? He was like, it's a Paul thing. And they went to Paul Heyman to ask why, what's up, and I guess he said, "Oh, I don't have nothing to do with it." So,
so here's what I have the transcript of when of what Gallows said. He says this: "It's great to be a good charmer, but when you're 100% full of bullshit." We had this conversation in a rental car before we got on the phone with him. All you ever read, all these guys that came before us, is that he's a great charmer, but he's the biggest bullshitter in the history of the business, which that is true. We are both going. We hope he's not bullshitting us. We have these big contracts. We're rolling with AJ. You gotta think positive. To the end, he's putting us over and telling us how good we are, and we're gonna put the straps on you a month down the line, but you deserve them now. But
I don't think that matters, honestly, when you talk about, like, I don't think that matters when you're not getting booked right, when you're being booked like trash.
You're right. But
they just give them potential for them to stay. Like,
he said, but you're going to go to Saudi and be the best tag team in the world. Like, that means anything, and them damn trophies they do in Saudi. If you ever have a problem with creative, or if I ever lied to you, go on social media and fucking bury me. Fucking put me under the dirt because I fucking deserve it. I want those guys in the locker room to know that I can't fucking be trusted. Guys in the locker room, he can't fucking be trusted. I just buried him. So,
hey, I told you they're some of the funniest people in the locker room. Man.
They are. But Paul Heyman knows that, because Paul Heyman don't care about people burying him or stuff like that, because they're gonna come to him anyway. Because Paul Heyman has a genius wrestling mind, but he is full of bullshit. And when you have Paul Heyman in control at Raw at the time, then yes, people are not going to be with the bullshit. So this was the pitch that we were talking about with the Triple H thing. He says that this is what Carl Anderson said. He said, Brody Lee texted me and goes, "They fucked you guys. we fucked our friends in AEW over, or we feel we fucked them over. We didn't feel good about it because we knew where we wanted to be. Getting that call from Talent Relations executive Mark Carano about being released, it didn't feel good. It took me back to having these conversations with Triple H.
Especially, just real quick, especially like, imagine, because they were telling them for like 6 months that they were going to be there before the debut. And they were going to be there, the contracts are running out, we're totally coming. And then they give them the pitch. And then they're like, well,
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you can finish. I'm kind of,
because
I always fight for the good brothers. So I'm kind of that kind of.
No, bro, I agree with you 100%. He said, Triple H looks at me and goes, dude, I look at you and I see your kids. I think about, what if AEW doesn't last? I can promise you one thing: WWE will always be here. We stopped being boss and employee at that point, and we were obviously not friends, but two humans talking. I'm not saying that Triple H could have stopped anything or even cared, but hearing that from your boss and then having it happen, it's like, damn, they don't give a fuck. Trying to get to the bottom of it, because it did feel weird. Asking around, we heard, well, it was Paul Heyman inspired. Really? We told AJ that. He asked somebody what they think of it. That person said,
AJ get down to the bottom.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. AJ, that little rebel. Hold on, that's a cotton picking minute. Okay, so AJ went to Paul and said, did you fire these guys and put the word in? And then Paul said, no, you have my word. I didn't do this. If I would have known, I would have gone to bat for them. AJ went back to the same guy, asked again, and then went to Vince. AJ got no problem going to Vince. AJ goes to Vince, slams out his door and says, you don't want none. I'm playing. He didn't say that. But he says, tell me the truth. Is Paul one that said fire these guys? Vince told AJ they weren't on my list, but yes, it was a Heyman thing. And he said we were making too much money for what we were doing, and he's fucking liar and a piece of shit.
You know what? I'm glad that at least Vince was honest enough.
Yeah, mate. Well, look, here's another thing though. Look, if Vince is like, look, they weren't on my list, but Heyman gave me shit, because Vince has had that thing, like that's what happened with Dolph Ziggler. Remember when Cena came to the back and said, hey boss, I don't think Dolph got it. He was like, oh really? Bam! Dolph Ziggler hasn't been shit since 2012 or 2013. Okay, all because remember what Randy Orton said when Kennedy or Mr. Kennedy dropped him on his head in 2008, and he said, Vince, he's a danger to work with. Bam! There goes Kennedy, just like that. So Vince,
well, that led to him getting fired.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kofi thing, he stayed. They knew.
Yeah, I'm saying, but however, Vince McMahon, Kofi plateaued. Air Boom and all that stuff like that, he kind of plateaued, but he worked his way back up. So that was the whole thing. But however, with Vince saying like, look, probably Gallows, I wasn't gonna fire them, but Heyman came to me and said, get rid of these guys. And he was just like, all right, because once again, every decision that happens goes through Vince McMahon. Everything. That's probably one part of the problem too. But Vince McMahon, everything goes through Vince McMahon, and they know that. So once again, it's like I think what people don't understand, the reason why AJ and them are so mad is because Paul Heyman, if you put a suggestion in Vince McMahon's ear, Vince McMahon will easily change his mind. That's what stories have been. That sometimes when Vince changes,
maybe they caught him on a bad day when he. Yeah.
Exactly. When you catch him on a bad day, so like that, it's like to the point where the only reason why Titus O'Neil ain't get fired for grabbing Vince and letting Steph go first is because Triple H said stop her, and that's what happened.
He said what now?
Stop her. So, and then that's why Titus still got his job. Let's just be real. Okay, but Titus got a job for other reasons.
Titus is not the biggest publicity person on their roster.
Titus is their safety net right now. Titus is their, hey, we support Black Lives Matter. Bam, this is the proof. That's what Titus is right now. We support you. He. That's why they keep. That's why Tyson's staying here. But anyway, so with that being said, it's like so. That's why they're mad at Paul Heyman. That's why AJ's mad at Paul Heyman. So AJ said he requested to go to SmackDown because he didn't want to work with Paul Heyman. So that's what the according to the true story is, because now it all came out on July 18th.
You know, I really wish that they could speak out how they want to without being afraid.
Well, I'm just saying because it's contract. Have to be afraid of? Say what?
Huh? I'm talking about. I wish they could talk freely without being afraid.
Well, I mean, I wish they could talk freely without consequences.
What does AJ have to be afraid of?
AJ don't really got nothing to be afraid of. To be honest,
they fire him. Of course, he's gonna go to AEW, so he don't care.
Yeah, but AJ is like AJ already said he don't want to go. He wants to retire in WWE, so he did everything already. You ain't got to go to AEW and do anything else. But it's just like.
But I'm saying like it's like if they fire him, he gonna either go somewhere else and be great. So.
Look, I really don't know. I really don't know. So then they had the whole conversation. It says, when they was talking about the text with Matt Jackson, he said, I remember the text clearly from Matt Jackson. Matt and Nick, they had planned out entire first debut of Dynamite's main event. It was going to be machine gun music going to hits. It's going to come out. Fucking Gallows comes from behind. We too sweet the Young Bucks and Kenny turn around. Everyone's happy, and then we beat the fuck out of them. We leave everyone laying.
Right.
Yeah, laying to the end of the very first night of. He said Nitro by accident, but Dynamite, and then. Sounds
just about right. Sounds like a Young Bucks thing.
It don't. Yeah, he said one of my biggest regrets of life it didn't fucking happen. It kills me badly. I said it a couple of times to Gallows. I was like, we don't know if it is actually going to take off on TNT or go on TNT, which I do understand, because at that time, Time Warner, you didn't know if they wanted wrestling back or not, and then it's like you saw what happened with WCW, so it's all one big gamble. And I can understand that point. I can really understand that point. The only thing is, only thing that we knew was with the guys involved, the Young Bucks, Kenny, Chris Jericho. Those are motherfuckers that are successful and are not going to fail. They're just not going to fail. And we knew AEW would be successful. We knew that they will pop off. We just succumb to the amount of money and promises, which a lot of guys do. That's why I remember when John Moxley was just like, when they gave me the offer and the contract, I didn't even look at it because I didn't want to be tempted by the money. That's exactly what he said. Because he knows it's true, because WWE...
So since it's after July 18th, when are we getting this Talk is Jericho episode?
Yes, like, come on. Bring it, I mean, with...
You know, especially with Jericho, he gonna talk trash about it too. Oh yeah, that's what he did to me.
Yo, quick question. Do you think Leo Rush will ever be on Talk is Jericho?
That's a hard one. He still ain't be on here. He still ain't go to Booker T podcast yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, so I wonder. I'm just wondering. So, you know, that is one of the things that happens when it comes to these guys, because it's just like they get offered money, and Dean Ambrose, because WWE has money. Whether people want to think so or not,
they try to lie to you or not.
Exactly, they have money. Like I said, WWE is one of the only wrestling organizations that will survive this pandemic. Period. Because there are a lot of indie wrestling shows. Like NWA Power may be done on YouTube.
Well, for more than just COVID.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, but that may be done. WWE is the only one that has the sustainability to make it through this pandemic, and they know that. And when they offer them millions of dollars to stay around, to just get furloughed or fired, because I truly think, because the way they were talking, it's like, if AJ going to retire WWE, Gallows always want to leave the door open, because you recognize if you don't want to leave the door open, you coming at Vince and you coming at Triple H. You see him punking it. But however, they kept that bridge there. They just don't give a fuck about Paul Heyman, who lost his job anyway. So Paul Heyman is not going to be there to control to see if they get their job back or not. So if they go to Impact Wrestling, say for about 6 months to a year, and say, hey, if they are cool with the Young Bucks and Kenny over at AEW, and they want to go over there, fine. But if not, they'd be like, all right, look, the pandemic is starting to shape up a little bit. Hey, Vince don't mind bringing them back.
Yeah, I know Vince don't mind. We need some guys to bury. All right, well.
Exactly, and sometimes the money and the promises, and I'm like, hey, they going back and sign with WWE, and I mean I don't blame them for doing that, so I'm not going to hold that over their head about what they did, but that's what happens.
Honestly, I don't think they. Well, I know that's what everyone likes, but I don't think they should have signed it in the first place. But that's just me.
I agree with you. I don't think they should sign because we as fans were like, we know what's been happening. You know what I'm saying? In WWE and stuff like that. But then sometimes you just want to see, you just want to be like, maybe they'll be different this time.
Yeah, and then they made them into doctors.
Okay, so yeah. Oh God, I didn't even want to talk about that, John.